Um, my date time thing is not set, so I'll have to tell you the date and time. The date is November the 1st, 1990, and the time is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Carole and I are on our way to Ashville, North Carolina. We're going to be making a visit to the world-renowned Biltmore House. And of course we'll be making some stops in between. One of the highlights of the trip is this trip through the mountains on the way to Asheville, North Carolina. And I just wanted to get the camera out here and get some of the colors of the fall foliage. Actually, we're just a little late to really get the full effect of the fall colors here in the North Georgia mountains. But anyway, some of the colors left. Carole's driving. There's Carole. Say hello. And off in the distance there are the Smoky Mountains, or part of the Smoky Mountains. Our first stop here, probably just a few minutes, will be Dahlonega, Georgia. That's about roughly 50 miles north of Atlanta. It's supposed to be a famous place to eat there called the Smith House. We'll be having lunch there. Getting some noise in this tape. That, of course, is the road noise. are entering Dahlonega, Georgia. As you saw on the sign a minute ago, I should have. It's a little mountain town. Very picturesque, as you can see. And that was the Smoky Mountains you were seeing off in the background.
Christmas shop. Stay on 60 because I haven't seen it yet. Look over here at these little shops. There's the fudge shop. I could get them some candy. Alright, where's the Smith house?
So we're at the Smith house, and the Smith house is supposed to be some famous place to eat. And there it is. We don't know anything about the Smith house other than what we've been told. We haven't been here before, but it's supposed to be a restaurant with extra good food, and they serve it family style. You sit down and they bring the food to you. So anyway, that's where we're going to eat. Carole's around here someplace. You hungry, Carole?
Yes.
I am too. It's 1:30 in the afternoon, and we're still in Dahlonega. It's about 4 o'clock here in the afternoon on November the 1st, and Carole and I spent probably the last 2 hours walking in and out of these shops here around the square in Dahlonega. Most of them are crafts type things, antique shops. I'm doing a 360 here. There's one of the local clowns. We've just stopped along the road here to really get a picture of some of the fall foliage. Carole's over there picking some samples, sample leaves. Again, I'm doing a 360-degree turn here. Well, obviously we're back in the car now and just getting, hi fella, getting a few shots from the car of some of this fall foliage. Hope we're not boring you to death with all that. Move your head back,
I
Carol.
have to look for the cars coming. Here comes one.
Okay, go.
It is nice out here. Blairsville to the left. The trout stream. They provide everything in trout fishing. It sure does seem like something bumping. I'm gonna get a flat tire. Silly car. Feel that? This is the most beautiful time of day, too. Boy, for somebody to get car sick, this would do it.
Yeah, the way you take these curves.
Hell, and I'm not even going 35 miles an hour.
Around the curve. Where you going? Here's kind of an unusual shot. We got a full moon coming out here as dusk begins to set in here in the North Georgia mountains. Thought it was kind of picturesque, the moon over the mountains. Okay, thank you. Carol just told us the time. It's 9:35 a.m. and it's November the 3rd, 1990. Hello, Carol. We are in Franklin, North Carolina, and we have just emerged from our motel room, and we're going to be taking a trip on up to Ashville, North Carolina, which is about 75 miles north of here, and of course that's the ultimate destination on this trip. We're going to the Biltmore house in Ashville, North Carolina. We are moving at a very leisurely pace. As you can see, we got out of the motel room about 9:30. We want to eat some breakfast, and we'll take a leisurely drive through the mountains up to Asheville. And actually, we won't be going to the Biltmore house until tomorrow on Saturday, so we're just going to kind of fool around today and let things unfold. There's Carol again. Anyway, I just want to get a picture of this scene across the street from the motel that we stayed in last night. and gets some pictures of this fall foliage. There is the motel we stayed in, and where's our room? Our room is right there behind that post. I wonder if they'll put a sign up there, Carol, that says Alan and Carole Stone slept here. We had a lot of sleep last night. I think Carol and I were both asleep by 9:30 last night, and we woke up about 7:30 this morning, so we're well rested. Anyway, that's the way it is here on this Friday morning, November the 3rd, 1990, and we're just a few miles north of Franklin, North Carolina. We just left our motel probably 15 minutes ago, and we saw this pretty spectacular view, so thought we'd stop and get a picture of this.
Can you see down in the valley there where the little green meadow?
Still at the same location. I've just moved the other side of some trees over the roadway to get another view. There's a house up there in the mountains somewhere. I don't know if I can pick it up.
Go up higher.
There it is right there. How'd you like to live right there on top of that mountain? Looking way down into that valley. There's Carol picking leaves again.
There's a little dogwood tree. All of those are dogwood.
Right up here is a skiing area. And that's a ski slope, sans snow. In fact, for some reason or other, they got the ski lift running this morning. I guess they're service again, testing it out and getting it ready for the season. This area will probably be covered with snow, probably another 30 days at least, and we'll retain snow until spring. I cannot believe where we are. You remember that place I pointed out just a moment ago? I said, that's a ski lift up there. Well, as it turns out, it's not really a skiing area. They do have a ski lift, but there's no skiing here in the winter. I just assumed that if there's a ski lift, there must be skiing, but the purpose for this ski lift is merely to take people to the top of the mountain, and that's where Carol and I are, yes, right now. We're on the ski lift, going to the top of yon mountain. There's the bottom. And we expect to get some pretty spectacular views when we get up to the top. Enjoying the ride, Carol?
Yes. I'm thankful I don't have to ski back down. You see the little welcome thing? There's a little road.
How do we get off when we get up there?
I don't know, but if they don't
You
stop
know,
it, I'm not getting off. I tell you for sure.
we forgot that. Nearing the top, and Carol and I were speculating on how we get out of this thing after we get to the top, and Carol says she might be right. You don't get out. You just stay on. What we're paying for is the ride. So I guess we're just going to go play
Unless this one stops.
ring around the pulley up there and go back down. Well, Carol and I don't really know what's going on here. As it turned out, we did stop, and we are at the top of the mountain now, and there was a man here, excuse me, who stopped that contraption and let us off. Anyway, we are up at the top of the mountain now, and the views are really spectacular, and that's probably somewhat of an understatement. We're told that from up here we can see 4 states. Of course, we don't know where they start and end, but over to my right, I'm told that is Georgia. And then we come around to about center where I am, and I'm told that that is North Carolina. And then, so we go over to the left, somewhere over there is South Carolina, within our viewing range here. And then right behind us is Tennessee. Huh? Where is it? Very courageous cat here.
You are brave getting up there. You know it's a long ways down? Oh, look at him, Alan. Can you see him?
Yeah, I was trying to get something else. Okay, kitty cat.
Can you see me petting this one? Hi, kitty cat. Hi, kitty cat. You're a... Oh, he almost fell. Did you see him?
Yeah.
He almost fell. Oh, you're so
Well, Carol, I don't want to take up all the film of a cat. Okay, kitty cat. You're on the air. You're a star. This is primetime TV.
Oh, now then, all he's going to do is lick. Oh, this one loves to be petted.
I'm turning completely around now.
I could take you home with me. Yes, I could. I could take you home with me. That one's just having a ball. Don't you fall off. These cats are real tame. Wonder where they live.
Probably up here.
These aren't wild kittens because they're so tame.
We're looking inside here, what's called a typical miner's cabin. And this is a cabin here, if I can get back a little view of it.
Oh, there's a real town up here, Alan.
All made out of hewn logs, as I assume that cabins were made way back when. And we get a view of inside this cabin. There's the old guy. Hi there, fella.
Alan, there's more town up here.
Okay.
Wish I had something to keep the kittens.
Well, what they got is an old miner's town here. We weren't even aware this was up here. But life is full of surprises. Well, it looks very authentic, doesn't it?
It
Period authentic, I guess we should say. This, I guess, is the old general store.
I guess the cats must sleep up here.
What?
This must be for the cats. Somebody must put a board in. Cats can sleep up here. You cats have your own little town all to yourself. Look at the star, the mercantile.
Where does it say mercantile?
Up here on the
Oh.
back. Oh, Alan, look.
How this is showing up, we're looking through the window now. I'm looking right through a plate glass window into this old timey mercantile store. Not focusing very well.
Alan, look at this, the man. Oh, Alan.
Carole. She's lost a little hair since you last saw her. Stick your head through, Carole. Stick it through.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, that looks better.
Let me do yours.
Carole's attracting the cats. Wherever she goes, the cats are following.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, it's my turn now. Let's see, do I want to be the Indian or do I want to be a trapper? I think I will be the trapper. Da 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 da. Here I am. Do I look like a trapper?
Look in closer.
Huh?
Go in closer.
You want me to go in closer?
Get your head in. Put your head in there more.
There's a bee up here. I'm not going to stay here. Ah! You running?
Yeah.
Now I'm an Indian. Uh-oh. My hatch just fell down. Turn the camera off. And we're now looking inside a so-called quote-unquote typical cabin domicile back in, I guess, the early 1900s during the gold rush days. There's Mama. There's one of the chillins over there. And the clothes are hung by the chimney with not too much care. Old cooking utensils. There's Dad. Over there in the corner is an old piano. I'm going to go shoot through another window to get another view of this room. Here's a little sign that explains what this cabin is all about. This was big gold mining country. It says circa 1889, so just before the turn of the century, I guess.
1829.
Where does it say 1829?
At the top. That's a 2.
Is it?
Did you tear this thing?
No. And the exterior of the cabin, I'll get a long shot of that in a minute. View of that cabin. Down. In Boot Hill, here's a guy buried here who had just a little too much of married life, I guess. This is just the other end of this little village, or town as they called it back in those days. We're being invaded by bees. Wave at the camera, Carol. Thank you. We ran a little shop here in a place called Biltmore Village. And Carole's trying to find something to spend some money on.
See, here's his and hers.
Let's see, it's broken. Huh?
No, it's made that way.
Came outside from that building there. That's a little Christmas shop. And we're in, I think they call it Biltmore Village. Is that right, Carol?
That little Christmas tree.
Anyway, there's a history to these houses, I'm told. This little village is right outside the Biltmore Estate. And I'm told that these are the houses that were constructed for the hundreds and hundreds of men who worked on the construction crew during the 5 years that it took to build the Biltmore Estate. So, anyway, there's a story to this village. And, this is only part of the village, of course. Obviously, these little houses, at least in this section of Biltmore Village, have been turned into little shops, and we're just browsing around here, going in and out of some of these shops. Might buy a few souvenirs. There's the star of this movie, Carole Stone. "30 years from now, in case you're wondering who the voice is behind the camera, it's the late and very, very great Alan Stone." Yes. Or as the date and time, it's 3:35 p.m. November the 3rd, 1990. Where are we going next, Carol?
Let's go down the street.
Huh? View of the village here. And Carol says we're going to go in that village right there, or that little shop. This appears to be an antique wedding dress, I guess. Now, 10 a.m. What is that, Carol, the 3rd?
Welcome to Biltmore
And
Estate,
we are entering the
Victorian
Biltmore
country
Estate.
home of George Vanderbilt, grandson of Commodore Cornelius Vanderbilt. You will begin your visit by driving through the large gate, located at the end of the avenue of trees adjacent to the ticket office parking lot. Biltmore Estate, now an expansive property totaling approximately 8,000 acres, includes Biltmore House, the gardens, and Biltmore Estate Winery. The self-guided tour of Biltmore House, the largest private residence in America, takes about 2 hours. The winery tour, which is also self-guided, takes approximately...
Well, there's the Biltmore House. I'd like to give you some description here, but I don't know anything to describe that is not obvious in the picture. I'm sure there's probably something there that would be of interest. I don't know where the living area is or the bedrooms, but we'll find out. We're told we'll not be able to take the camera inside the Biltmore house, so all film we're taking will be on the exterior. When was this house built, Carol? Oh, I remember now.
1890
Well, the house was opened for guests the first time. It said on Christmas Eve, 1895. And what was Vanderbilt's first name?
George.
Was it George Vanderbilt?
It says that he commissioned the architect in 1887.
Oh, really? Took 5 years to construct, I read. And George Vanderbilt died at a relatively young age, we're told, at age 52 from pneumonia. So if the house was completed in 1895, I think they said he died in, what, 1914? So he had roughly 19 years to enjoy the house. And the estate originally comprised 125,000 acres, we're told, but since that time the family has deeded a large portion of the lands to the state, which is now part of a national forest. We're told this house sits on 4 acres, or the house itself occupies 4 acres. And here's just a little closer view. Extends over beyond those trees over there.
How much room did you say the region had?
Plenty.
How much room did you say it had?
Oh. What is he?
And I moved up just a little closer to get even a closer view of this mammoth house that they call the Biltmore Estate. Carol, I wonder what the building is over there. There's a sign there. Well, we don't know. We'll find out.
That might be the stable.
Huh?
That's the stable.
You think that's the stable? Would they have the stable that close to the house? I don't think so. Aristocrats didn't tolerate horse barn fragrances back in those days. Is it stable? Is that what it says?
Well, there's a stable cafe right there.
Stable Cafe.
Yeah.
Huh, okay. I'm going to do about a 180-degree turn here and show you where we entered. This is the entrance. When you first saw the house here on this videotape, I was standing right out there where those cars are. So we moved up, roughly 110, 20 yards or so. I want to get a close-up of some of this ornamental detail, which seems to be above and around virtually every door and window in the building, or at least every door and building we've seen thus far. This is right above the main entrance into the Biltmore house. And there's the entrance. Again, we're not allowed to turn our cameras on inside, so after we enter there, we'll have to turn the camera off, I guess. This is one of the views that George Vanderbilt and his guests and family enjoyed from their mansion. This is on a terrace. Excuse me. This is on a terrace on the west side of the house, obviously looking west. There's the edge of the building there to give you some perspective. And the grounds surrounding the west side of the estate. Well, it's now 2 minutes past 12 noon here on this November the 3rd. Carole and I have just spent an hour and 45 minutes touring the interior of the Biltmore house, and we are now in a little courtyard, which is between the main house and the stable. There's the stable right there. We'll be going in there in a minute. And they've got a little restaurant over there. We might get a bite to eat before we go. We assumed, since that was the stable, that the carriages would be brought into this courtyard. And the people would mount their carriages and exit through there somewhere. I'm assuming something I don't know anything about. Over here they park some carriages maybe. There's Carole. Again, we're looking at the stable. Exterior of the stable.
Now let's go.
hear me or not, but we're in the stable waiting to go into a little restaurant to eat. 3 o'clock in the afternoon here on November the 3rd, and continuing with our tour of the Biltmore Estate. We are probably about a mile, maybe a little less, from the big house, and what we're looking at here is George Vanderbilt's greenhouse. Quite a big structure, really. It goes back probably 100 feet, and then either side about 100 feet or more. Very tall ceilings there, all glass. And then surrounding the greenhouse are some outdoor gardens.
The roses smell so good.
And what we see here, really not much to look at here this time of year. Got a few roses. I guess the purpose of the greenhouse and these gardens were primarily to supply the house with fresh flowers on a continuing basis, and also to start the plants that they planted around various areas around the state. Walk over here.
Rose right
Can
there.
smell what?
That pink rose where that bee is.
Right there.
Oh, it smells so good.
And ladies and gentlemen, here we have a pink rose.
Did you get a close shot or something?
Well, yeah. Well, there's the big house off in the distance. I said about a mile. We drove about a mile getting here, but we took some winding roads. As the crow flies, it's, oh goodness, maybe a quarter of a mile at the most. So in reality, the greenhouse and these gardens were within easy walking distance from the house. But anyway, we're in our car because we're not only going to make this stop here at these gardens and greenhouse, but we're going to continue on down the road here. Sign says 3.5 miles to our next destination, which will be the winery. That's what we'll be showing next. Wants me to get a good close-up of this pink rose there. There we have a close-up of the pink rose. That's the highlight of the tour. At another location on the Biltmore Estate. This is something they call the winery. I don't know much about it. I assume since they call it the winery, they make wine here someplace. Anyway, that's the building we're about to enter, and immediately across the street from the winery, have this little garden area. I'll get a shot of this from the front of the building in a minute. This is standing in front of the winery, looking across the street at the little garden area that I was just in. Carol? Carol? Did you say this used to be a dairy?
That's what it says. It was the old dairy.
Carol says she read someplace this was the old dairy, but that doesn't exactly look like a dairy barn. Anyway, we'll find out. The dairy complex, and one of the guides told us that these buildings, the building just ahead and to the right here, are original structures. They were built in 1895. And the building over here on the left was a new addition built in 1983. We are in the wine tasting room, in a room that in years gone by was the room that they did the milking in. This room used to have a bunch of stalls lined with cows. They did the milking in here, and now it's converted into accommodation for tourists. You get a sample of their wine.
Try your wine.
Huh?
Try your wine.
Your left on your left one down from your right hand column is there. This is the American's Infidel. Like taking practice on clear palate, please feel free to do so.
No.
American dinner wine to go well with lighter meals of veal and lamb. Also goes real well with pasta dishes.
Hmm? And on this Biltmore Estate, they have a genuine cow. That's the tail, the head's on the other end. He turned about the time I got the camera out. Hi there. This is 52U. And who knows? This cow might be the next steak on your plate. We're still on the Biltmore Estate. Actually, we're just leaving. Anyway, I thought we'd get a shot of the few head of cattle they got here before we left. You ready to go, Carol? Well, it's now 5:30 p.m. November the 3rd, 1990. We've completed our tour of the Biltmore Estate, and we're now back at the hotel, and actually we're at the top of a parking building adjacent to the hotel, and it's such a beautiful scene here with the sun going down over the mountains around Ashville, North Carolina, that I thought I'd come up here and get a shot of it. We are looking east. Actually, that's due east there, so here we're looking a little southeast. I'm just going to do a complete 360-degree turn here to give you some idea of what the city looks like. Ashville, North Carolina, as you can see, is a town that's nestled in the valley, surrounded on all four sides by mountains. And looking down into the valley, there is Ashville.
Did you get the town?
Huh?
Did you get the city?
I'm doing it now. There's downtown Asheville. Looking directly south now from Asheville. Then we'll swing back to the east, a little more of this sunset. Now looking directly east. It's a pretty scene. So Asheville's a pretty town. That's a bit of an understatement, but it could be a fine place to live.
Now, Mike, he's in junior high. No, he's a freshman in high school. Alan shooting. He's wasting his feeling now. He's breaking. Yeah, he'll probably break it. He's driving a new Pontiac Miami. Yeah, see, well, it's sure flashing there. It's got the red light there.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, but probably some explanation in order here. We are at Curtis and Nellie's house at Carole's parents in Springfield, Missouri. As you can see, it's a little bit past 2 o'clock in the afternoon, local time. And we made a surprise entrance here
Get a
to...
picture. Kelly testing the pie.
All right.
He had to test it, he said.
Yeah.
But he gave me and Nancy a bite too. So we got to test it too.
All we've got when we're standing on
With our mouths.
You know who this is?
Putting down the
Yeah, it's been a
sides.
while, but I remember.
That was really...
And it's Thanksgiving Day. There's father and daughter. There's Curtis's best daughter.
What you don't know
Number
is
one daughter.
the
Number
only daughter.
And she is married to Curtis's best son-in-law.
Yeah. Only son-in-law. One son-in-law is enough.
That's right.
When you've got the
Hey.
best, you don't need any more.
Hey, one father-in-law is enough for anybody to do.
That's what somebody asked Danny McKenzie. Asked Danny, said, is that Jason, is that the only one you all are going to have? Dan said, one Jason's enough.
Okay, Alan.
One
That's
Jason's enough.
she is. They all are. They've all been.
So having here, this is
Glasses that go on that other table. I think they'll just use these.
Nellie.
Yes.
Turn around here.
Oh. How about that?
Well, we need more.
Well, hi there. How are you?
Fine.
Nice to see you. Mabel.
Hi there. Good to see you.
Aunt Anna.
Yes, sir. Throw that in there.
Aunt Anna is the youngest person in the room.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
88 years young.
Oh, don't lie like that. No one will
No,
believe that.
that's the truth. I don't lie because I don't pay.
And
And sometimes the truth hurts.
here's Kelly's better half.
Right here.
Hello there.
guy. Hi.
Yeah. And who is this over here?
Meet Leslie.
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 Back to me.
Oh, she's probably a little more confused today than she was yesterday.
I thought last night she sounded good.
She sounded pretty good on the phone last night. She was probably better last night than she has been today. He figured out, he told his mother he owns 67. I said, yeah, 150 Is that a new rig, Alan?
No, I've had this 4 years. I've got about 20 hours of grandchildren. I brought them so you can watch them.
Oh, okay, good. I've got a whole bunch of them, and I'll show you.
Really? Oh, great. Yeah.
Our grandchildren. You having us all up for Christmas? Are you?
You're all coming?
I didn't ask. I didn't say that you are. I said, are we?
And I said, if you all come, you are.
Well, we had a great trip up there. What year was it? 86?
Is it good, kids?
John got in the minute. Had to take him to the doctor across the street.
I'd be irritating.
The doctor said, well,
Is that,
too late now.
Alan, is that yours?
No, that's
Probably
mine right
over
here.
it anyway.
Well, I switched it.
Be
You
all
don't
right.
mind sitting back here by Kelly?
Well, I don't know if I want to sit back Kelly or not.
He was over it.
Well, if you don't, well,
Hey, Carol.
no,
Caught me. Caught me with half a plate full. It's not full yet.
Did we need to go out to the store and get some more food? Or?
I don't think so.
I've got to hold him down on the calories.
I bet you down to 5,000. I bet you hold him down.
He gained when he went over to Israel. I don't know, he must have a lot of food over there.
I lost that. Oh, where'd you get that?
Did you have to buy them meals or was he on the trip?
Oh, it's on the trip.
Oh, and
Are there rolls over there somewhere? I didn't get one. Get me one. Would you
Well,
please?
Bob Thompson said this is one time I want to enjoy a trip. So get my checkbook and my
pick out
cash
which
and
one you
everything.
want. You
So
want
I get to
crusty
go.
who said that?
Buck Thompson.
Oh, well, you know.
They had to buy a card, anything like that.
Buck wouldn't enjoy it too much.
Nellie, you going to eat today?
I'm gonna get rid of this
I
ice
think
cream.
that kind of ruined it for Buck.
The